Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a leading human rights activist and a theologian, famously quoted, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together." Welcome to the Human Together podcast, a show ultimately about humanity and shared experiences. Stories collected that helps one draw strength from a very powerful source, people. Through the eyes of others, we see ourselves, and through this empathy, we unite to become human together. Hello, my name is Dr. Jason Floyd. I'm an educator, husband, and father, amongst other titles. I've had a long-time passion for human rights and human interest stories, and I developed this podcast to share with you my perspectives and experiences concerning human rights and to illuminate stories of people that both inspire and help understand and appreciate just a little bit better. Let me begin by where it all started for me and my interest in human rights and people. Well, I can say the first signs came on November 9th, 1973. This is not a date that I remember with vivid memory, but rather one that has been explained by my parents and my actions on that day. That was the birth of my younger brother, Justin. I was one of 3 boys who were born and raised in and around Oklahoma City. At the time prior to his birth, I was the baby of the family, and I must have appreciated the spoils of such birth order. However, on this November morning, my little brother stole my title. I say this in jest, but it led up to my actions prior to him being taken home. My parents remember fondly the following occurrences and shared it with me quite often. As my parents took me to the window of the maternity ward to view my little brother, I must have been fuming. Why would I want to see a baby who has forced me into middle childhood? Someone who would steal my crown as the focus on my parents' and family's attention? No, thank you. At the time, I must not have realized the gravity of the situation, but I knew things were going to change for me. As I peered through the glass, there were babies of all shapes, sizes, and colors in the maternity ward at the time. It was glaringly obviously which one was my brother. The little pale moon face-shaped infant laying front and center was the little culprit. However, when given the opportunity to pick out my brother, as if I were in the animal adoption shelter, I told my parents I wanted to choose 2 babies to come home with us, neither one of which happened to be my brother. I would happily have left him at the hospital for stealing my thunder. At any rate, the interesting part were the other 2 babies I had chosen. One was a little African-American baby, and the other had severe physical disabilities. In my parents' mind, this was less about me not wanting to acknowledge my own brother and more about signs of greater things to come. In my parents' minds, maybe it was a sign that I would become a civil rights activist or another special education teacher in the family, such as my maternal grandmother. As fate would have it, I became both, which I will share more about in the unfolding episodes of this podcast show. Oh, by the way, it turned out all right between me and my younger brother. Today, my younger brother is someone who I love and adore deeply. More on that to follow. I don't claim to be an expert on civil rights or laws concerning civil rights, but rather someone who will offer unique experiences of both myself and other people. I hope you enjoy finding out about people that may be different than yourself, and I hope you gain a perspective and appreciate that we can all become human together.